Welcome back. We will go straight into our newspaper review, and of course, Chris Maduka is in the studio to do justice to that. Good morning, Chris, and welcome again to our newspaper review on our weekend show. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Chigi. I must say you're looking brighter. You know what? They tell us the secret.
It has to be God.
Everyone is talking about this God. You have to take me to this God. Eh?
I will, actually, I will.
Well, welcome and good morning, the world. Welcome to New Day.
We have a lot of interesting news, items. And I would actually want us to start with IBB, but I don't know. What are your thoughts? Should we start with IBB or you have something else?
Yeah, started in the week and it's trending.
It's trending, seriously.
So if IBB, we measure his followers now, all over the world now, he should be clocking.
I'm telling you, and this man is in his 80s.
And if the social media should monetize his followership, and what are we following him for? A lot of people said the revelation is belated and is opening can of worms. People are divided in the opinion about IBB. But there's something that struck me, I must say. I've commented over time on the signature morning, but since it's cropping up a new day again, how many of them? Somebody said the IBB we should look out for in Tinubu. How many of them have this courage, even at the point of death, to actually come out to tell Nigerians, I regret my actions. I'm sorry. I could have done it better. It's encouraging. It shows that no matter how late it is, and people are
he is going to give some people some level of closure, over years of unanswered questions, why this, why that. At least from some of his, submissions, you would actually say this was a man who was under a lot of pressure, tremendous pressure to do some of the things that he did.
When most of our politicians will come and said there were rumors of, I give you instance of what happened in Anambra State sometime between Chris Ngige, my dear friend and brother, and the Oba family. When he got into power, it was like so much stories. Godfather. Some politicians are at the point of, because they want this power, get involved in so many things, and when they get there, they find out that talk is true. That when a man buys panties for a woman, one day we say, I want to see how this pants fit you. The Igbo say that in Hagobe, if you carry a he-goat and put on top of she-goat, for one reason or the other, they won't perform. It has to be a natural process and allow the he-goat do what God created him for. But when you have to be around there and then carry him, some people have even said that during Jonathan, it was the same process and couldn't take certain decisions. So if IBB, even as an army general over Nigeria governance system in Asoro, we're under pressure not to do certain things, that will tell you nobody. That these powers, beyond powers, that rule over undeveloped nations like us or developing nations, that the international community are not allowing us to breathe. So all of us here will be shouting as we see Tinubu now, dear President Tinubu on top, sitting there. We might not be seeing what he's saying. At that point, the view is clearer. Those who are pushing him and the ones he's pushing. So you know that this world is complex. Politics is about who controls what. The international community are interested in Nigeria. So for Babangida at that time, people see him as Maradona. He also played.
He was called the evil genius.
The evil genius he even accepted he is. Because for him to navigate his way at that time, he had shown some courage as a leader. He killed Vasta, which he said here, he was always envious. That is between him and Vasta.
Yeah, Vasta is late.
And the family are also saying it must give us restitution.
Yeah.
I don't know what they will give Vasta family to serve as enough restitution for, cutting down the life of Vasta. At that point he did, because he was also a major.
Yes.
And a very close friend of his. Then there's this rumor, he said, that when C-130 aircraft that crashed in, you remember that swamp in Lagos, and consumed over 230 coming up army officers. And the world was, in Nigeria, came to almost a halt. And I was rumored that he had a hand in it. So when people say that a tree who stands at the, you know, a tree that grows at a pathway, a public pathway, will always be receiving knife cuts or machete cuts. Anybody who grows, you know, if not anything, people will peeling the back of that tree. And whatever, some of them, after eating, they will come and rub their hands on it. Some people will post posters, some people will do anything. In modern day, if it's my state, Anambra, some people will come and tie white cloth around it and make the tree a shrine. Anything can happen.
But do you
when
think,
you are prominent and be at the point, at that center of power?
Yes, but you know that Babangida, Major General Babangida retired. He resigned just once after June 12.
He stepped aside.
He stepped aside and installed,
the first time we had that word.
And installed an interim government. Now, do you think that was his own way, though he was under pressure, though he couldn't do much? I think that was his way of clearing his conscience and freeing his mind of, you know, the things that happened in 12 annulment.
You know, when you rear a goat or a ram or a sheep, you must learn how, you must in your brain start fattening out how your goat or breathe. So when that one says, that's my goat, it's like my goat is breathing, or you need food or something. For IBB to surround itself with some powerful assistants like Major General Abacha.
Yeah.
And all the powerful people around him, you know, he must have been very careful. He must be under fire. So certain decisions, you know, in the army, I don't know how they function. I've not been there, but I know in the ruling council, the Federal Executive Council of the army, everybody rank on their shoulders will be shown, even as they come for meetings. Every car you see 5-star general, 3-star, so you know your rank, you know where you're falling. But even when you have a deputy who is so powerful, you have to be careful. So certain things you cannot do. So when you know,
Abacha was his minister for defense.
So he was under fire, and the pressure under him, he has done the first mistake, which he regretted, annulling the MKO election that June 12th. Nigeria was set to destabilize, was so much on fire. Then you have a deputy who is also ambitious.
And a chief enforcer who is also your chief security officer, Hamzat.
You know, but all those kind of people within the Asorok, even him wasn't, no matter how,
I think he ran for his dear life.
No matter how evil his genius is,
he ran for his dear life.
So he had to find a way of stepping aside. For the first time we had that word, and then quickly did some mago thing to put some people there, which, as far as we know, that transitional government was meant to fail. There was nothing, they planned it to fail because there was nothing. How can you bring a business mogul, somebody who has been in position of business, managing businesses and bureaucrat, you know, business side of Sheneko, old, not too young at that time, and put him at Asorok without nothing to protect him? And he still finds the same Abacha still there, not retired, and the other people there. So it was a walk through for them.
So it was easy to lead a bloodless coup.
Of course, what the only thing is they'll give a man a phone call and say, I am Abacha calling you, please, just for
Step
your life.
aside.
We'll recognize you as former head of state of Nigeria. And the old man will just walk away, and then.
Well, you mentioned that this memoir will actually open a can of canker.
The MKO
yes, what do you think would be, you know, IBB's? I'm just trying to pick your brain.
Government is continuing.
Since he's ready to.
It's a continuum. If you are the president of Signature TV and you sack Chris Maduka today, if my family come, whoever they meet there, as the president at that time, who will make restitution.
So you're saying Tinubu will be the one to make the decision?
It's the federal government of Nigeria that somebody represented and took some bad decisions. It's the person they meet.
Really?
If somebody stole pepper and they were looking for and they came at the foot of the tree of pepper, the plant that bears pepper, and they saw you there, you have to take your time to say you are not the man who stole.
But you know, President Tinubu was pro MKO, was an activist.
If you remember how the whole thing worked.
Yes.
That annul of MKO Abiola's June 12th election.
Yes.
Sprang up so much reaction.
Yes.
That later, he's saying IBB was part of assuaging the Yoruba nation.
Really?
He went to Ota with his son, flew in a private jet, told Obasanjo 2 weeks after his release.
But wasn't he the one? Okay, well, he was the one that put Obasanjo in jail.
No, it was Abacha. After he had another election that brought chain of events, it was that way. He stepped aside and Abacha took over. But later, when he came as a senior retired
yeah.
president, he went there and said, "Get ready to be Nigerian president," and gave him a check of over 130 million. That's the only word he said in our altar, and they left. Many people did not know about this. But then, at that time, the chain of events, because it will tell you that a power that be in Nigeria, they decide who rules. And there might have been some issues that happen, and it's like, you started it all. You caused this problem for Nigeria by annulling the election. Lead us into who do you think? For them to release OBJ from prison, God help the man, he has 9 lives. And then before he got to Ota, 2 weeks after, somebody is coming, get ready to be Nigerian president. Before you know it, he has been appointed to be the flag presidential candidate for a very major party. And another Yoruba man, Falaye, who was secretary to a government of Babangida
at the time,
was the appointed as opposition leader. So he made sure that they want to make sure that Yoruba nation head of tail
goes back
to Asorok to assuage that nation. Nadeko, which Tinubu was part of, our dear President Tinubu, Wole Soyinka, Akinrina Ade, and all the fighters, Kudirat Abiola, who one of the martyrs of June 12, fought Nigeria to a standstill. Nobody can pretend that time. I was in Yoruba land. I wasn't living in Ibadan. It was June 12th, first anniversary. Not even an ant could move around. They stopped. Lagos stopped the whole Yoruba nation. It was only some part of other nations that you find life. Then the second anniversary was unbearable for me in Ibadan. I have to, the only vehicle that left Ibadan to come to the southeast could only leave by about 4 a.m. I have to go and enter a Sinachi bus, night bus, to leave, because if you don't leave before 6 a.m., the whole town will be shut. And that's how I came back. And then when I got here and I find there was some semblance of life, I said, you guys are in heaven, no? Because down there in Southwest, June 12th anniversary will be a lockdown. It's not this kind of thing. You know? It was there that ordinary people bought into the process. If bus stop and you want to enter, somebody say, where you think you are going. Someone pushing the bus. Nobody, no bus. Some people who are not Yoruba, who are bus operators in Yoruba land, you common people in the street, they look at you and say, they will tell Abi, you don't understand what's happening. Make you enter the bus, where they see. And then some people at that time want to even explore the situation to increase fares and do something. If we park, that time it was only 10 kobo or something, or 20 kobo as bus fare. From UI gate to Shasha, where I stay, going towards IT or your room. It was only 10 naira or 20 naira to get there. But when the bus, during the Abiola, MKO Abiola June 12th anniversary, the bosses wanted to increase the fare. Who? I respect the Yoruba people. When they want to act, they act. And that has told you, the federal government didn't. There were no divisions. The Yorubas came together, fought under Nadeko, and they were assuaged. We are saying, there's the federal government. Like my
I was going to get there because a lot has been said about Abiola, NKO, annulment, Maman Vasta. What about Biafran War?
And that's what
especially with Abdul Salami also in the picture. Did he make any mention of, trying to assuage, like you rightly put out, the Igbo nation?
Well, in the history of the people who fought Biafran and executed, Babangida name didn't crop up much. We heard of Buhari, we have of Obasanjo, we heard of
I guess he was a younger, but he was under, I think he was under Abdul Salami Abubakar's command.
Whatever they did there, they're expecting that those who were there had the opportunity of doing this could have. But like I said, government is continuing. Whoever sits down there had to look back at the mistake of his predecessors and said, like when we were graduating from high school, one of our seniors, very beautiful orator, Nobis Enendo. made a speech. I've never forgotten. He said, let our mistakes sound as inspiration for you. You know, let the mistake of our former leaders sound as inspiration of whoever is there now. We cannot continue on that
pedestal,
repeating narrative of mistakes and the building up wickedness, because perpetuate. Now that it's good that the children of Vasta, the family of MKO, are speaking now. But you know that as they speak now, and you know what is their mind, intention will be coming down, whatever level of assuation you give them can calm things down. Over time, if they come up against it, but certain things has been done to assuage you. I know you cannot be enough, but at least look at it. If you look at your position, look at some positions who nothing was done for, you could start helping to take it that Nigeria. Until this kind of thing is done, I recommend again, because I said it in signature morning, I recommend again that we bring back the Puta panel, the likes, to begin where the people like IBB should.
Whatever happened to the recommendations of the Puta panel?
They recommended, the thing was that
it was never
they were not looking at recommendation. What happened is that bringing some powerful people to apologize and make open confession, calm down the nerves of so many things that were broken into Nigeria. Otherwise, Nigeria would have fulfilled the book of USA, who said Nigeria would have disintegrated in 15 years of their prediction. But when it came there were still propping up issues, which I knew that they want to fulfill the book and their prophecy. But Nigerians, as if they know, still held. Whatever held Nigeria is fragile, but it's still solid and tight. You know? Tension in as FG assume flex muscles over local government elections.
Yes.
And why is this flexing of muscles? The Fubara of River State flexed muscle, had his elections and is in court. Why is the federal government so much in Osun? And why are they flexing muscle? And they bitchily mad bitchily. Can I come and live in your house, Chigi, because I am more powerful and your father? Don't they have level of independence for states to organize the elections? The police are beginning to pull up. This Adeleke will become the underdog. I don't know. But Nigerians know about the issue of underdog. If you use a mallet to kill a housefly, you're already creating a scenario of underdog. The federal government has to be very careful. If we are talking about autonomy of states, that level of autonomy, we have to explore it to the limit before you begin to show why is police pulling out. And for instance, it happened it's only an animal that has not been killed before. And you say you don't know how to dissect it. No more, my friend said they know how to bury a hunchback. We in Nigeria have seen perpetuation of evil and we allow it go. So if it happened in River State, why won't it happen if that's why Adeleke is? If you see two people want to fight, you sat back and allow Chigi to push Chris first and they want to come and hold you not to push back. You are partial. But if Chigi want to push, he said, no, let's not. It's Chibog. If you want to separate fight, first of all, do not allow it go into push and shoot. Because one person push, the other person must retaliate. So stop it at that time. Why do we allow Fubara have this way, hold the River State election? What is different between Adeleke and Fubara? The same thing is playing now. Some people want to control the local government election, and the man is fighting his powers to be there. So, so that's part of the thing. So if those are the two things, before I go on the headline of guidance, it said, "Taming the menace of frequent tanker fuel explosion accident." And the graphics there tells you, what do you see there? Run.
Run, oh.
Run. Run for the first time. Run for the second time. Run. When you see, it says, tanker what? Explode acid.
Once you see the accident, before the fire starts.
God bless Nigeria.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. And that is it for our newspaper review. Don't forget, New Day continues with retrospect. Do stay with us.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.